again, I was with Beth. Beth was at home, and I went to the grocery store to get chicken and something for, maybe some red wine or something for dinner. And they had mangoes on sale, which was a new fruit in Texas. So I thought, oh, well, this will be cute. I'll get mangoes for Beth. She'll be so, was it mangoes? I think it was mangoes. Mangoes or papaya? Now I'm kidding. Anyway, this guy came up to me and said, I see you have, the most exotic of fruits. And I think, well, I'll give him some of these and maybe this guy will go away from me. And he pulled a gun out and stuck it in my head, and he starts crying and says, I don't know why I picked you today. I don't know why. And that's when I see the store is empty. And I was so busy going through the mangoes to try to figure out which one is ripe and which one was not, because I had no idea if red is good or green is bad. I didn't know, or shaking them. I ended up hostage with this guy for, I don't know how long, 45 minutes, an hour, with the gun to my head. And I was just talking nonstop. And then I decided I'm going to have to make a break. So I say to him, this is how I got out of it. I got out of it by saying, oh, what time do you have? So he's got the gun to my head, and he looks at his watch, and he's going oh, I go, oh gosh, my girlfriend's going to be worried for me. We have dinner. Hey, I don't know about you, but it's interesting me getting all this stuff out. I feel like I'm getting a lot out of this. I don't know if you are, because I was talking to him about mythical problems I was having with my father. And I said, you got anything happening tonight? You want to come on over to our house and have dinner? I mean, we're going to have chicken and hey, let me give you my address. And so I tore off part of the bag that had the groceries in it. And I said, do you have a pin on you? In a scene that was so weird, it would never be in a movie. The guy has a gun to my forehead, and he reaches into his pocket to hand me his fountain pen. And I was so tired and scared, I could not think of a phony address. So I write down my real address. I give it to him. I said, okay, I'm going to check out. Now just come on over and you'll meet Beth, and we'll have mangoes and wine together. And we keep talking. And I walk, and as I'm walking, I pass him. I feel the gun go into the back of my head, and a little voice in my head said, don't turn around, don't turn around. Whatever you do, don't turn around. And I got to the corner of the grocery aisle. It says, you get around that corner, you could run, and then you'll be free. You'll run and you could be free. But what happened was, I got to the corner, and before I ran, by my talking to this guy for 40 minutes, keeping him occupied, it gave the SWAT team a chance to come in the back of the store, and they worked their way down the opposite aisles of the store. And when I got to the corner, they jumped over the food. Like those aisles are like 7 feet higher. They jumped over the food and had this guy bound and gagged and tied up within 8 seconds. And I'm walking around in the empty grocery store, and I go to an empty checkout counter after they pulled this guy out of the store. And I'm just alone, shaking like a leaf. A cop comes up to me and pats me on the back and says, hey, pal, you could just leave. I go, oh, thanks. And it was the only time I ever went to a grocery store and didn't pay for my groceries. I got home, and Beth said, well, where were you? I said, well, I was just held hostage at gunpoint. And she said, well, that takes a long time. I said, yeah, the hostage thing takes a lot longer than you would expect. Yeah, but that was true. Oh, terrible time, terrible day.